Good morning, Jeff. This is Aaron Sunchen. I hope you had a good weekend, good Memorial Day, and a longer weekend than normal, and it wasn't too busy for you. Stephen had mentioned over the weekend that we wanted to get a quality management review over to you, so I wanted to do a short recording. Quality management is a part of the Suite Success solution standard for food and beverage, and it spans across everything from your purchasing and receiving of goods to your work order closes and your work order in process. So what we're doing here is we're capturing the inspection detailed down to the data fields that are quantitative or qualitative based on the specific food quality specifications that you're handling at this time. You'll see here that we're bringing this through the evolution of what we're going to bring in from goods receiving to handling work order completions and anything that's in process. And you'll notice that within all three of these categories, you'll see workflow. This is what's going to drive some of your respective workflow analysis. What happens if something fails? Where does it go? What type of notifications need to be fulfilled to a different department, to your vendors, to your customers? And we wrap this together through the basic transactions that you'll see as we go through today's demonstration. Before we go into the specific software, let me lay the foundation of what you're going to see or what comes standard. So within NetSuite, there's three standard roles to facilitate quality. And when we look at these roles, you have everything from your administrator to your manager and your quality engineer. Respectively, you'll look at who manages the setup of data fields, the quantitative or qualitative results or standards that you're looking for, and then who's going to be monitoring those, issuing quality tests to the right departments, and finally, who enters in that data information. And of course, this is fulfilled through a nice dashboard. If we click here, this is some of the dashboard that you're going to see today. So instead of spending the time on kind of the dashboard, we'll go through, you'll have your quality scorecards for in process or receiving based on multiple criteria, what's in the queue ready to be tested, and some of that information that you would use for a certificate of analysis that you'll see here at the bottom based on your results by item by lot number. This is very big for your specific business when it comes to looking at defining and giving your customer samples based on their requirements of the tea blend they're looking for. We set everything up at the item level, by item, by vendor, by classification, and we'll set those up respectively by defining the inspections, what type of data fields and data we're going to be handling, and really what those target ranges are going to be. As we set those up, you'll have different specification lists that are going to hold those data fields that you're looking at. So for example here, you're going to see that we have label accuracy, finished case weight, and so on. Multiple inspection methods, and each one of these are going to have different quantitative results that you're capturing. And as we go through this, we'll go through the general quality setup, which is going to be managing your inspection queue, handling those inspections, and really what we want to look at is what happens if they don't pass or they do pass. I'm going to go, I'll send this out with what I complete today, but these are really what we're going to step through today, the tablet view and how we handle the supply chain as it comes through with quality. So let me jump right into the demonstration. What we're looking at here, and you know these based on our last demo, is that we're looking at our quality administrator here. The biggest thing that I want to point out as we jump into the dashboard is the first thing that we're going to notice is going to be the layout of your specific key performance, your trends, your quality, and again, those reminders. I want to take a second to point out that within my reminders, the first thing you see are sales orders to approve. Now, we've had this with multiple different business types and situations. Yours is very common to a spice manufacturer that we worked with, where they sent samples out, and prior to that sample being approved, they went into an approval route. So they didn't end up in manufacturing's hands or our demand planning. So the customer will give you clarification. Do they approve the sample? And you can go ahead and handle the approval route as well within the system. Again, giving you further control to make sure that we are hitting the customer's needs when it comes to handling approvals, quotations, and samples prior to the full development of that recipe. And then other areas that you see on the reminders are vendor return authorizations to approve. And that's under the quality as well, because if something fails, it may end up going right back to the vendor on receipt. So it starts a vendor return immediately within NetSuite for you to handle. So a few of these areas that we'll go through today. But before going into the dashboard or going too deeply into it, what I want to point out here is that quality starts with your suppliers. There's certain steps that your suppliers take with you and that you take with them with regard to handling their quality certifications, their compliance checklists, and really to make sure that they are approved for being a supplier of your goods. For example, here I'm looking at Qtrade, and you'll notice here your standard supplier form. So this is your single source of truth. We talked about this last time, where you'll be able to go and handle all of the different information and track back to any transactions that have occurred to date. There's also that vendor dashboard 360. So if I want to focus just purely on a single supplier, we can look at their scorecards. You'll see I'm still looking at Kawa, but this is just a different view. We're very big on dashboards, giving you the specific information that you need and not having to really move around too much when you're going through these. And all of these, again, are drillable as you proceed. Going back to that vendor master here for our Qtrade, you'll notice that we have our vendor compliance checklist, and you'll have our vendor certifications. So it all starts with the vendor. When we look at the vendor compliance checklist, you may have specific requirements for your suppliers in order to even receive goods from them. And you need to store that information within NetSuite. You need to get a good notification of when they're going to expire, so your suppliers are always within your approved supplier checklist. So standard checklist here, but what we want to go more deeply into is really looking at maybe HACCP, SQF, different types of compliance that you're tracking within NetSuite. So you'll notice here we have different expiration dates driving some of our different compliances that we have. If I go in and, for example, edit my SQF level 1, you'll notice that that expired on 4/15/2019. So right now, in all reality, this supplier is out of approved supplier code. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out to 6/15/2019 and drive some more of the reminders that we're going to see on our dashboard. So this will bring our vendor back into approval. We would attach their compliance to any notes or files to this specific certification, and we'll get our 30-day notification. Again, this is just to help with the approval for suppliers, making sure that we have them up to date within our system. If we go back to our dashboard here, maybe we want to create a reminder that's all about vendor expirations. So what we can do is we can look at our Sunshine vendor certifications that are going to be expiring within the next 30 days. Now with here you can create those rules that I mentioned. Really anything over 0 we want to look at. And now your supplier, your management can go in and we can get any notification out to those specific vendors immediately upon this information that we have within our system. So again, just the drillability and the real-time notifications that you'll get will drive a lot of the influence for all of your users day in and day out. Now we're talking about quality here. Let's go over to more of our items now. And you'll notice that within the products that we talked about during our first demo, you'll see we have our raw materials that we buy, maybe just green leaf tea. We have our black tea, your favorite. And then we have a blend. We have our bulk mint green tea that we talked about. So this one's more of a recipe. These are what we purchased for that recipe. Again, if we go down to that item master, everything is on one form of truth here. So you can notice that under our item for receiving, when we receive from our wonderful vendor, based on a receipt from the PO, we're going to trigger a specific inspection at this time. So you'll notice that We have an incoming visual and moisture measurement. Let's go ahead and edit this specific quality context. And this quality context only runs in New Jersey based on a receipt from a purchase order. And we have what we call a specification here. That's going to drive and be kind of the master info for all of your data fields, your quality specifications, and the inspection fields that you're going to need. And again, your item isn't going to be the same by every vendor, so you can apply this to be by multiple vendors, multiple customers, or even when you start to get into your work in process. We're always tracking what our current transaction count is and what our frequency is that we're going to go ahead and notify or get the information that we need to collect. A big piece for you here, Jeff, is going to be around what type of action is going to be taken based on if it fails or if it passes. So what we want to do here is just think about if it fails, I want to notify my engineer, I want to quarantine it, I'm going to release it, I'm going to return it to vendor. You can go ahead and pick any of these. There's workflows behind it to trigger those exact movements in and out of bins to different locations, quarantine and put it on hold. So you have multiple ways to utilize our specific kind of workflows that I had mentioned earlier. If we go into our specification tab, this is where we start to look at what are our inspections that we're going to have. So we have a visual inspection, we have a scale inspection, and we can look at any of the information that we have based on this information. So halt on failure, if our rules get failed, what's going to happen if we fail our visual? We're going to return it to vendor. So again, multiple ways to influence what happens if it fails. We'll go to the QAPH measurement here, and really what we're going to see quickly is all of the different fields that we're looking at when it comes to that measurement. So we're looking at a specific decimal measurement, and we have standards. It's got to be between 4 and 6. Within that, if it fails, you have a less than or greater than, so it's got to be greater than 4, less than 6 for it to pass your pH measurement. Now, you can have as many rules. These are going to be based on different types of quality traits. And the great thing about this is you're going to set these up. You can copy them over. You can put them based on different types of transactions. But the best part about this is that you're going to be able to set them up once. And every time you go ahead and receive this product in, your quality team is going to be notified that they need to make a quality test. So we talked about last week, we're going to go receive goods in with our scan guns. We're going to collect the quality information of lot number, expiration date. They're all going to be coming in as quality hold. And then also, it's going to trigger and post something onto your quality dashboard. So based on that, you're going to have each item specified to have a specific quality context, which is going to drive your quality team to take in any data fields or quality inspections that are needed. So it goes across your manufactured goods and your receipt of goods and on the outbound here. Now, to bring this all together, once you've set that up and you define the data points that you need to take in, it's off to the races, as they would say. So big point here is that we can go into our quality, and this is part of that mobile trifecta, right? We're using tablets. We're getting our team more mobile and getting all of that information to pop right onto their dashboards very easily. So immediately you can see all of my quality tests that are waiting for me. Anything that was done in the last 41 minutes to an hour. Now, I want you to notice here that some of these are purchase orders and some are work orders. I did this on purpose because of the fact that we mentioned that we want to make sure that we're gathering data on the receipt of goods through manufacturing and to make sure we're sticking to those sample requirements and quality needs that are happening out there. So immediately I can go in, say I'm going to start with New Jersey. And I'm going to just look at anything that's waiting for me out there in New Jersey. Now, I showed you a demo last week, and you can see I didn't do any of the quality tests, so they're still hanging out there. But let's focus in on some of these that we have for incoming and visual, right? So the first thing you can notice is that we're going to put in our lot numbers. You may scan that in here, and you can see, did it pass or fail? It's going to give you nice notifications. You have on screen notification of help for anyone that's going to be onboarding. And you can fly through these based on what your requirements are. And I showed you that setup for the pH test. So now you can see that we have that 4 to 6 minimum and maximum right on the screen. If I type in 1, right, it's yellow. If we type in 5, we're green, we're good. We can record it. And the next step is to finish the inspection. Right immediately as this is saving, Jeff, you're going to have all the data you need for your certificate of analysis, for example. You're going to have everything associated to your lot. And now you can have the traceability back to all of the quality steps that you have in order to maintain the quality compliance that you're looking to capture on any of your incoming goods. As soon as these are captured, you're going to go right back to your dashboard. You'll go ahead and save everything and move on to the next test. Now, I do want to take a note here that as soon as we're capturing these in real time too, is that we're going to be able to go back to our items in the backend, and we can go ahead and see any of those tests that have been received. So what I mean by that is if I go back to QTR, our black T 001A, we're going to have some of those results right on the screen. So we can go right back to our item, we can go to our quality tab, and we can start to see any of that context that's been taken, any of the quality results that are looking to be printed out in the end, and be able to drive some of our certificate of analysis, again, right off of those results that we capture. So you have your certificate of analysis, and then you also may have things like your specifically around your allergen list. So let's go in, and you might have allergens that you do on the outbound as well. And we can bring out maybe an allergen checklist by lot number that you're going to have based on your products. Just further driving the fact that you'll have all of your data in one place to be able for you to manipulate and get the specific results that you're driving per lot number. Now, to put a secondary piece on this, your quality team is sitting there and we're waiting for quality to be pushed to us. The other side of this is looking at your manufacturing pieces. So again, I only did this for the sake of expansion. We have multiple locations that we can utilize, and you may have tests by different location or even tests by specific supplier. Really what I'm just going in here is just a different use case. You may just have quality teams that take in different quality measurements, and now you're seeing a different view. Again, you define your quality tests, you define what you're going to be taking in, all of the notes, and how that's going to be received. So you'll see I have a moisture measurement, I have my pH, my whiteness, ash percentage, foreign matter, or even taking pictures. And you can fly through these. You're going to get errors. You're going to be able to stay within range. But otherwise, the goal here is that we're capturing the detail in real time, driving it to your quality team, and getting those results so you have those very, very easy within the system there. So you can go always grab a picture if you need, and there you go with some of the quality results that you're going to take in. We'll go ahead and bring in our lot number and record that information. This is a fully tabletized, I guess the word would be, view. So all of the information, the views that I've showed as this saves, is going to be passed right onto a tablet, give you full-time notifications, and drive a lot of the dashboard that you're going to see once you go back to your home page here. So we'll have our whip quality. We're also going to have some of our NQ. So we have our bacteriological right now that we just started. It's pending the results, and that's as fast as you're going to be able to get them to your dashboard. If we go to our standard wonderful here, you'll see our products, anything that's been in work, that's pending, right on our dashboard, waiting for all of our information to jump on here. And again, we'll have anything that you need driving to your dashboard on a day-to-day basis for you to be able to pull that data and see those results. So the final thing is some of those dashboards that you're looking for, the quality results that we're looking at here. Again, this can drive your certificate of analysis item by lot number, by all of their results across all of their data fields. Some of the key performance indicators to drive into what we've passed, what we've failed by vendor. So if I want to jump into my Qtrade trading that we were working at earlier, Now you're going to be able to see a nice indicator of what's passed, what's failed. I can export this out, drive this, bring this in so we can go and throw this onto our supplier scorecard, send it back to our supplier, Fakawa, and show them how many have failed, passed, see if we can write in new contracts. So really what we want to do there, and that's pretty much the demo for the quality receiving, the quality in process. Let me jump right back to the dashboard just to finish it off a little bit here with regard to the last pieces of what we mentioned there. And really what I want to go through here is just some of the benefits that we captured. So the challenges that you're receiving today is that you have disparate solution, it's manual, it's on Excel, and your reliance on, integrations per se. So what we've done is we've standardized our solution, driving it by end item, vendor, work center, or customer. We've provided a mobile solution that captures everything in real time to drive any type of holds or any type of visibility to your engineering or vendor return teams, and give you all the reports that you need for certificate of analysis, allergens, and making sure that we can supply all of our customers with the needed information by having that data in one place at one time. Jeff, reach out to me if there's any questions that you run into, or if there's any PDFs, anything that you need me to go after. Again, I'll make myself available, and I hope that you have a great week. Thanks again for the time.